Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my co-pilot, words, Joe from Jets X Factor. Joe, how you doing tonight?
Don't worry, you're still better at words than the Jets are at football, Ryan. it's okay.
It's so sad.
Depression, we were talking a little bit before the stream, but we're both really depressed. I think that we all understood it was going to be bad. Not this bad, not 6 points in 2 weeks bad. So let's work through it.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for jumping in the stream, hanging out with us. I see Ant Jets, Steven Engel, Joe S. We got, who else we got in here? We got Joseph Schwert, Jets Mess, Jerome Stacks, WA2K99. Guys, drop a like on this video if you're upset with what you've seen from the Jets this season. Drop a like. Basically, every 25 likes we get, we're going to pick a qualifier for a shirt that we're going to give away tomorrow night on the Talkin' Jets panel. So if you want to get in on that, also, if you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment in the comments down below, and you'll be qualified as well. Got a whole bunch of ways to get you qualified for a t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream. Joe, you and I were supposed to link up week 2, home opener. Jets Patriots, and I bailed on you basically because I wound up on the other half of the parking lot, and I was supposed to shotgun a beer with you, and I didn't do that.
No excuses, just accountability.
I told you, I was like, you know what? I owe Joe a shotgun, and I did not do it. So I have my dogfish head right here. Let me see if I could show you the beer in it because it's definitely full. Try and not spill it on my computer. Nope, can't see it.
I'm trying to see the liquid in there. Just the fact you're holding it straight, though, is giving me concern that there's
it's going to tip all over my thing. Like, I'm trying to be very careful. I had to bring up my other two beers because I couldn't carry one beer up with, like, a hole in it. So, yeah, I owe you a shotgun, so hopefully I don't throw up all over my computer right now while I
don't get it on my shirt.
It's this beautiful Jets X Factor shirt. Joe, if you want to let them know where you can get one.
I think it's Jet X Shop. I haven't been there a little bit. But I think it's Jet X Shop. You can figure it out. I'm sure the people in the chat are smart enough.
There's enough. All right. Yeah. So now I'm going to try and not flub this up. So apologies.
Okay. No. There's a little bit. That was good though.
It's all right.
That was good.
Oh, sorry.
Still better at shotgun than the Jets are at football. It's okay.
That makes me not feel great.
Yeah, it's not a compliment.
No, not at all. I'm going to use this welcome back fans to wipe my face.
Maybe your ass next time.
Maybe my ass next time too. It was horrible.
You owe me one in person still, so I'm looking forward to when that day comes.
I do. Next game we're both at. I got at least one more game in me this year. And then I'm going to wait till the end of the season when the games are like cheaper than the price of beer.
Yeah.
And then I'll feel a little bit better about myself for going and wasting money on the Jets.
Yeah, I would go to all the games if I was able to. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but I love the tailgate. I love the people I go with. Unfortunately, my schedule, I can only make it to a few games. I think I'm going to the Titans game next week, and then I'm going to like 3 at the end of the year. I think it's like Saints, Jags, Bucks, which I'm sure the Bucks game is going to be pretty fun.
So I'm probably not going to see. I was invited to the Titans game. I can't make it. I'm going to be at the Bengals game. I'm probably going to go to the Eagles game, just because I got a few Eagles buddies at work. I'm like cooking in here. Turn on the fan. That's what happens.
Yeah.
All this lighting equipment.
I don't want to talk about the Jets game. I kind of want to just talk to the people in the chat.
I was gonna say, there's not a whole lot to go into. Let's do this. We'll give our quick rants about the Jets, and then we'll kind of see where the chat takes us. I think that's more fun that way.
Want me to go first? I guess it's not necessarily like a rant because it's like I said, I expected us to be bad. I didn't expect, again, 6 points in 2 weeks in 2021 football where everything is geared to make it more offensive than defensive. So you have to be disappointed with LaFleur so far. And that was one of my major problems with the Jets in terms of just the youngness of the team too. Like not even just backup quarterback, which I had a problem with all offseason. I brought that up many, many times. because I'm sure when Zach Wilson's struggling in the Broncos game, Mike LaFleur, who's never really seen an NFL game, and Mike White are offering him a ton of upside, a ton of good what's the word I'm looking for, advice. So I would like a better backup quarterback. I can start with that, and then obviously the passing of Greg Knapp is huge. But in general, the staff is really, really young. So we're going through a lot of lumps because of the youngness of the staff, and LaFleur in general is struggling. And he will adjust. You'd hope he would. And I know that people are going to say, okay, we played some of the top defenses. I agree with that. You look at the Panthers, what they did the last couple of weeks. The Jaguars, the Texans, they still scored points though against the Panthers. You have the Patriots, who are historic for hurting rookie quarterbacks or playing well against rookie quarterbacks, and then you have the Broncos with Fangio, who's like one of the godfathers of defense in the NFL. So yes, I knew they're going to struggle. It's still not an excuse for him to be struggling this much. It still is slightly concerning. I forget what point it was in the game yesterday, but 4th and 1 going empty, I always hate that. No threat of the run game. And then it seemed like they were just robbing everything across the middle, and the Jets really had no answer for that. The lack of adjustments we've seen from LaFleur, the lack of getting Wilson going, and he's a rhythm passer, and a lot of guys are rhythm passers, but specifically with young quarterbacks, you want to see their OCs get them a couple of easy passes in a row, and they get in that rhythm. But they're not doing that for me either. I think the Jets are on the bottom of the league in screen passes. We heard a lot about the jet sweep and the end arounds and all that stuff in this offense, which is obviously a famous offense. It's like 10 of the teams of the 32 are in somewhere or somewhat similar of an offense. And the problem is, if you're running jet motions and orbit motions and all that stuff, and you never hand it off to those guys, it's not going to move guys as much. So when are we going to see? And I know Morris now has a freaking concussion too, so he's probably not going to play next week. But when are we going to see a jet sweep or an end around or a reverse or something to get this offense going? Like pull something out of your ass to get it going. So he's been a big disappointment. Obviously Wilson, I was really happy with him the first game. Second game, he sucked. He just sucked. And he's a rookie quarterback. It's not gonna not happen. And in this game, he wasn't as bad as the past game. He really wasn't even that bad in general. The one pick he had was obviously a drop pass, and they have the coaching. And I think that the one late was not the drop pass. It was the first one, the drop pass. I think again, I was drinking. I was self-medicating, let's say, last night.
Once the second interception happened, I was like, I could get 2 beers at MetLife. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about yesterday. Yesterday.
Second one was the drop pass. That was
okay. So yeah, the second one, and in that situation too, they're having him throw the ball. I know they want to see him a little bit, but at that point in the game, you're getting waxed. So now the Broncos are just going to send all their blitzers at him, and he's going to get hit. And he got hit a couple times that drive. I get people that want to give up, but it's 26 to 0, or 25 or 26 to 0 with a couple minutes left, and you're having to throw the ball and just get absolutely knocked around. So don't like the play calling there. And in general, again, second game struggled a lot. This game, he missed a couple of low, and we're seeing some problems with his. I'm seeing some problems with his footwork. He's not really activating his full body into his throws. There's a lot of fadeaways. There's a lot of his hallway not being set. There's a lot of his front foot not being pointed. A lot of his shoulder not being pointed. So his mechanics are kind of going in the shitter a little bit, which is, I think it's him just trying to press. And I think we don't have to be concerned about that yet. But that hasn't been good. Some of his decision making is a little bit sketchy. He's not seeing the field as well. I don't think he played terribly given what was given to him. And all the other rookie quarterbacks are playing pretty bad as well. But in general, you have to say you're at least a little bit disappointed with Wilson. Again, it's not time to kind of say we shouldn't have drafted him, all this stuff like some people are doing after 3 games, which is crazy. Offensive line really needs to get their shit together. Let's be honest. The Pats played pretty simple. The Jets blocked them up pretty well. But listen, it's all about consistency. You can't have one terrible week, one bad week, one good week, one bad week, because then you're terrible offensive line. Even bad offensive lines have a good week or two. So that's a concern. You have Ty Johnson dropping passes, Michael Carter dropping passes, Corey Davis dropped 2 passes in the game. He dropped one last week too that led to an interception. I know the ball's a little bit high, but he's making $12.5 million a year to catch that ball. He should catch that ball. So he missed at least 4 or 5 throws on the top of my head, but he wasn't getting help either. So from the play caller or the weapons. So it's really bad offensive football. Last week, the first week was a combination of everybody. Last week it was strictly Wilson for the most part. There was 2 plays that were really schemed open that should have been touchdowns that weren't, and that was on Wilson and GVR mostly, but a lot on Wilson. And then this week is a combination of everybody because everybody sucked this game on offense. Defense, we can get to that later if you want. But I'm like rant. I kind of just I don't know where I went with that. So
just word vomit everything.
Just,
Tell me
I
what
don't
you're
know.
feeling, Joe.
Yeah,
guys, if you haven't followed Joe or any of the Jets X Factor guys, their links are in the description down below. Great follows on Twitter and absolutely great YouTube channel with film breakdown. They'll go into everything that you hate about your Jets,
yeah.
Week in and week out. Genuinely enjoy this sort of stuff. All right. So I see 25 likes. Every 25 likes we get, we're going to get a qualifier for a t-shirt giveaway. So Nightbot's going to pick a qualifier. I'm going to jot this down. We're going to give away the shirt tomorrow at the end of the Tuesday stream. If you're watching this after the fact, all you have to do is drop a comment down below in the comment section, and you'll be qualified as well. So we get you guys involved. Daniel Arena, you are qualified for a t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream. So congratulations. So here's my little rant. I was like, oh, so heated at the end of yesterday's game. I was like, I wasted like 4 hours of my day to watch that. Like that's what it was. I've devoted time and money and the amount of time and energy it takes into creating a video. I know we were talking about this before. You put so much energy into making content and no one subscribes. No one watches it. That's the reason I didn't do like a 5 takeaway video. I was like, no one's going to watch a 5 takeaway video on a 26-0 game. Screw it. Not doing it. So here's my
takeaway: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We suck. We
are terrible. that's what it was. I don't know if that's all the syllables I needed, but it happened. So
still better English than the Jets.
I saw a tweet today that got me all fired up. Mm-hmm. Zach Wilson's average time to get a pass off or pocket collapse is 1.7 seconds. He's been sacked 15 times. That's the most in the NFL. He's on pace for 85 sacks. The league record was in 2002 with David Carr. It was 76 sacks. So even with the extra sack or with the extra game, if you were to take that away, he's still on pace for 80. So he's still on pace to just destroy the sack record. Hurried 14 times. That's second most in the NFL. Pressured 33 times. That's the most in the NFL. Pressured percentage, 27%. That's second among starters that have started 3 games this year. And then in the last 2.5 years since Joe Douglas has been here, Ryan Khalil, 1 year, $8.4 million. Alex Lewis, 3 years, $18.6 million. Greg Van Roten, 3 years, $10.5 million. Connor McGovern, 3 years, $27 million. George Fant, 3 years, $27.3 million. Morgan Moses, 1 year, $3.6 million. That is a total of $95.4 million spent on the offensive line. We spent the 11th overall pick on Mekhi Becton, the 14th overall pick after trading 2 third-round picks on Elijah Vera Tucker, and a 4th-round pick on Cameron Clark. So that's 5 draft picks and $95.4 million, not including the rookie salaries. And this is the type of offensive performance that we get on the offensive line. It's absolutely absurd and it's unacceptable. You need to be able to protect your quarterback, especially when you take 2 overall. You got to be able to protect him because he is going to get shell-shocked. You can't take that many hits and not get happy feet. And you alluded to it before. He's starting to get that little antsiness. He's not setting his feet right. He's not like throwing everything. He's not getting the perfect twist and the perfect, step up and everything into his passes. And you're starting to see it. He's getting those back foot throws, or he's leaning back. Just drives me up a friggin' wall. Up a wall. Joe S. Let me see if I can find your comment, Joe S. Sorry. I was on a little bit of a rant. So let me do this. Joe S. says, inexcusable that Joe Douglas didn't get a veteran quarterback. Mm-hmm. So I guess, Joe, let's go there. How badly did the Jets, or do the Jets, need a veteran quarterback given everything we've seen from Zach Wilson and maybe the knowledge that could be given to him on the sideline? Like, what are we missing out of not having a veteran quarterback?
Somebody who's been on the field, somebody who's been in those situations. And the thing is, like, people make it too black and white, in my opinion. Like, I think people, when you say, why do we need a backup quarterback, it's more for, if Zach Wilson goes down, they want a guy to step in. To me, it's not even that, because I don't even care if Wilson goes down. Like, if we lose a game, whatever. We're obviously not going to the playoffs. None of us really thought we were going to the playoffs this year anyway. My thing is more, it's the meeting rooms, it's on the field, it's on the sideline, because Mike LaFleur has never taken a snap as a quarterback in the NFL. Mike White has never taken a snap as a quarterback in the NFL. So people will say, "Oh, well, that's the coach's job." The coach has never done that. And even if he did, Kyle and I brought up on a live stream. It's like, and we use the example of him as a teacher. Like if he has like not like a silly question, like a stupid question, or like just a quick question in passing to ask, or he's just more comfortable in general, maybe they'll bring up more questions. Is he in terms of him bringing up to another teacher? Like, are you going to go to your boss with all your questions? Are you going to go to, for me, I'm a police officer, like, do I go to another patrolman, or am I going to go to my captain, my lieutenant, my chief, and ask them dumb questions? Like, no, I'm going to go to a peer. And people like underrate that a little bit to me in terms of what a backup quarterback means. Like people just like to say, "Oh, who cares about a veteran quarterback to have a coach?" I think that's bullshit. I think that's simplifying it too much. And I think that's a lot of people who either don't understand what it means or maybe haven't played the sport, understanding what it means to have guys alongside of you with veteran experience. Because, yeah, you have your coaches, but you have a different relationship with a guy who's been there, done that, who's on your team, playing the same position. And none of the guys on the staff have done that. So that was one of my biggest criticisms the entire offseason was Joe Douglas not bringing in a backup quarterback, veteran quarterback. So I don't know why he didn't. He definitely has a couple flubs, Douglas. And in general, I do like him. I know say anything positive right now, it's not even worth it. So I'm not going to get into a whole conversation about that. But there's a couple things he flubbed. Partially the offensive line with the right guard, tight end. And we can go on, but backup quarterback was one of the biggest things that's inexcusable for him. And even the kicker position, he might have got lucky with Matt Amendola, but that's another thing he flubbed. So yeah, not having a backup quarterback or a veteran backup quarterback is an absolute joke to me.
Yeah, not having a backup quarterback. You brought up a good point because when I'm at work, I have my boss and then I have my coworkers that are working at the other courses, and I'm like, I need some advice on X, Y, Z, and like. The other guy at the other course, he's ordering the merchandise. He's having issues with outings. He's doing like all these different things that he's been through before. He's been there, and I could ask him for his advice, but I'm not going to go to like my boss and make him seem like, like Ryan doesn't know what the hell he's doing. It's like, no, like I want to like have that confidence in a coworker, which is exactly what a backup quarterback is. It's someone to be comfortable with, someone that could tell you, hey, look, I've been there before. Like pick your head up. Like, don't worry about this interception. Go back and attack it this way. Like, if you see this look, maybe you do this next time. I don't know. There is a bonding nature to that position. I think in the quarterback room, you spend so much time, and to have so little in-game knowledge in that room is really kind of alarming, because LaFleur hasn't called an offense before this year. And Mike White hasn't played a snap in the NFL. Zach Wilson hasn't played a snap in the NFL. So, like, where do you go to try and bring in a backup quarterback? Is it too late at this point, do you think? Or do you think the Jets should still try to go out and get a guy?
I don't know. It depends on who's out there. Really based on, like, do they know the system? Like, were they a part of the Shanahan system? And, like, a lot of people, like, crapped on the idea of bringing in RG3, but I didn't think RG3 is a bad backup in terms of being there, done that, has been a highly touted first overall or first round pick, actually 2 overall as well, and who knows the system. He is obviously with Shanahan and with the Redskins of prior, now the Washington football team. So I know he's working for, like, as a broadcaster now at college football or ESPN or something like that. But it depends on who's out there. If they know the system, I would be comfortable with it. But at this point, yeah, it's better than nothing. But, like, why was that ignored? I don't understand ignoring that. And, like, I get in certain positions, specifically on defense, like with corners, saying, okay, let's see the young guys and what's happened. Like, not going to get into not going to fully delve into the positives, but, like, those guys have been balling out for the most part, minus a few plays here and there. They've been really impressive for where they were picked and our expectations for them. So I get going with the young guys on defense and letting that kind of play out, but you can't screw around with Zach Wilson. So you need to bring in all the talent you can. I'm not saying to overspend for guys and trade first-round picks for guys who are going to be here in the future. You have to still be smart about it, but to say that they did as much as they possibly could for the kids, I think would be an ignorant statement or just false, because, again, look at what they did at tight end. Look at what they did at right guard. So those are the 2 positions that they've really screwed up. Along with the backup quarterback position. So could they bring in somebody to kind of hopefully save face a little bit and help out Wilson? I think so. It would just really obviously have to be a quarterback who's seen that system, so he can kind of work it through with Wilson.
Yeah, Jets Blues says go get Bortles or RG3 if they don't want to spend a lot of money. Andrew Yale, thank you for the super chat, brother. Says thoughts on comments by vets about Wilson. Jet up. So I queued up the video of Greg Van Roten because I think that's what a lot of people are a little fired up about right now. Considering Van Roten, I think has like it's some insane amount of pressures that he's given up. He has been.
I think it's the second most of guards in the league right now.
It's insane. It's absolutely awful. So let me jump over to that. I'll play a little bit of it. Let's see.
This is the second time in 3 games where Zach's taken a beating back there. I mean, I think he was hit 8 times, and several of those hits were, kind of the really vicious ones. What needs to change? Because it's kind of hard to see him staying healthy this entire season if he keeps getting beat up like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to learn. This is the NFL. You got to get the ball out. You can't hold on to it and try and make a play and throw it deep downfield. So, and we got to protect him better. It starts with us up front. So we got to get on the same page. I thought we were better today with our communication for the most part. There's always going to be a few plays here and there that you want to clean up. Some different looks. They didn't really pressure too much. But when they did, they were successful. And that's the kind of things that you need to stop. But you also can't be in 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 8 and expect to convert all those. I know we weren't very good on 3rd down today, and it starts with getting in 3rd and manageable.
This is the second time.
So do you have anything to say about Mr. Van Roten's comments regarding Zach Wilson and the offense and how they performed yesterday?
Yeah, I don't think he took – and I'm not necessarily one to always get fired up about comments unless they're brutal, because he obviously is a part of that trio. Yes. Did Wilson – out of the 15 times he's been sacked? Is it 15 you said before? Are a few of them on him, like the Carolina Panthers game, him dancing around, maybe a couple hits in the Pats game. Was there at least one this game that might have been on him? Yes, 100%. But at the same time, it's been more of the offensive line, and they're getting paid like you've kind of not alluded to, but you put out there, you put out all the salaries and what they've dumped into it. So I'd like to see him kind of blame himself first and take personal accountability, because he's talking about the offensive line as a whole, which has been a problem, but he's been by far the biggest problem of them all. Last game against the Pats, the offensive line was pretty good. George Fant had a couple bad plays, but again, you're not going to win. I think the average of offensive snaps a game was 65, at least a couple of years ago. It was. Maybe this one's a little bit less, a little bit more. I forget exactly, but somewhere around 60, 70. So you're not going to win every rep, but GBR has been getting smacked every single game. So I would see him take some personal accountability initially, and not put so much on Wilson, even though it may be true. Don't dump it off on other guys. And individually, maybe as an offense, you could say we can all perform better. So I don't like him singling out Wilson initially and not taking some more of the blame for himself there.
Yeah, for me, it was all about you. I don't think you name drop Wilson. I think that's more so the issue I have with that entire thing, because there were a few people that absolutely took what he said out of context, and I didn't like that. I saw that from a few reporters, and I thought that was disingenuous. Samini was not one of them. Samini posted the full clip, and you listen to the full thing, and it's like, you know what? Maybe you should really blame yourself, because you really are the weak link on the entire offensive line. If there's one lineman you swap out, it's easily right guard, 100%. Mm-hmm. And for me, for him to not have the self-awareness of that is kind of alarming. And I'm looking, I don't know, did you see the play with, I don't know if it was the first half or the second half, but there's a play where Elijah Vera Tucker got called for illegal man downfield or ineligible, whatever the penalty is. He's 25 yards downfield. 25! What are you doing? You get one. I get it. Maybe you don't run into that sort of stuff in college. I would have assumed that was a penalty in college, but I guess maybe it's not. And he got all the way down the field. And I'm like, all right, you know what? That's a coaching issue. You got the penalties that are undisciplined. You got the drop balls. I feel like the guys aren't focused. And then you have Elijah Vera Tucker running 25 yards down the field where he clearly has no idea where the ball is. I'm just dude, this whole offensive line, this team doesn't feel well coached. And it's disappointing, because I see Salah, and it feels like he should be a leader of men, but the team just feels unprepared. Did you feel that way about, seeing the penalties and the different things that we're kind of running into each week?
Yeah, and I think it's more just offensive. Like I know Salah is supposed to be an overall like a seer of the whole team, which he is. So like for him to act like he should get in there and be coaching the offense, it's obviously it's not that easy for him as a defensive guy to say, okay, I'm gonna be an offensive coach now and start telling you what to do. So I'm not gonna put a ton of blame on him. It's a lot more of LaFleur. And again, you have to consider, and this is I get we all want to be down, and I am down, but will LaFleur grow, 34 years old after his third game coaching NFL? 100% he's going to grow. But yeah, in terms of the penalties, like it hasn't been too bad the first 2 weeks, but like that penalty, like you said, the drop passes, Corey Davis at least had 2, Ty Johnson had 1 or 2, Michael Carter. You had another couple penalties. You had the one on Shaq Lawson, which I remember that was kind of soft, but then you have Justin Hardy barking in the guy's face. They're losing like whatever it is at that point, like 23-0, and you're getting in the guy's face. Like, just have some self-awareness. I think the corner, like it's one of the things that drives me absolutely nuts in the NFL or in football in general. Like the corner who gets cooked by like 5 to 10 yards, and then the receiver drops it, and he's like finger wagging at him and like barking at him. Like, dude, you just clearly got beat and you dropped the pass. Like, how are you talking shit right now? But nonetheless, yeah, it's just like they're pressing, they're not focused. Because they're knocking out the fast starts and they're really working from behind really, really quickly in a lot of these games. So now they're trying to catch the ball before or turn and run before they secure the ball. But yeah, yesterday was just a complete mess. Like this was, I know the Pats game was really bad too and it was really ugly, but at least with the Pats game, like it was squarely on Wilson, which we never want to see. But we could look at the rest of the team. Okay, the O-line was playing well. Michael Carter was playing well. Elijah Moore, even though he didn't let the stat sheet, had a pretty good game. The plays he wasn't necessarily involved in. The defense was playing well. And there's some positives to take away from this game too. But, yeah, the offense just looked abysmal. And I'm pretty sure the stat is, like, it's not a crazy stat. I know Michael Nania. But, like, the Jets got shut out twice in the Gase era, and we've already done it once. And, listen, like, for everyone to say about this Jets roster – the talent on this team, like Corey Davis said, and on the offense is not this bad. It is not 0 points bad. It is not 6 points bad. We all predicted like I feel like kind of like average to a little bit below average, maybe even in the low 20s. But 0 points bad in modern day NFL, it's not excusable in any way. So they really do got to step their shit up.
Kyle Ormsby drops in with a super chat, says, looks like we have another top 5 pick. On the bright side, Seattle doesn't look too hot. Maybe we have 2 picks in the top 20 next year. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a bright side. The friggin' Giants might wind up with 2 top 5 picks the way the Bears are playing right now. I saw a thing today.
September 27th, we're talking about draft picks. It hurts.
That's what, like, I just want to see competitive football. I don't want to think about the draft. Like I'm trying my hardest not to look up mock drafts right now, and it's friggin' brutal. And
the stock line too, Ron, I know you know this, is I just want to be competitive in December. I want to be competitive in fucking October and November. Like, when's the last time we've been competitive in October? Like, when's the last time we've had a shot in literally the end of October? It's been a long time.
2018, maybe, when you think like Darnold's rookie year, you're like, okay, you're at least like you're feeling your way through the season. It's not great, but at least like there's something there. I don't know. It sucks. It feels like every year by week 3, this team is over. We're rolling over, and it's just not good. Like last year, you knew it was over. 0-3, it's done. You got no shot at anything.
Yeah,
it's hoping to see improvement from.
It's hard, and I feel bad for. I feel bad for fans who go to the games. I feel bad for the 148 people in here plus you and I, and like especially content creators, like you're saying, like we're trying to put out a product, and obviously it helps helps us out when they're good. When they're bad, like who wants to watch? Like who cares? And like you talk about this year being not competitive, and like last year, the year before that, like as soon as it's been like 3 years of like dreadful football, because as soon as they hired Gase, we all knew what we were going to watch. It's 2 years, he's going to get fired. We're going to suck. People are going to leave who shouldn't leave. He's going to alienate people, like all this stuff. So it's been like 3 years of just like brutality. And I know like we have more hope, going forward. And listen, we're not firing coaches and trading guys. And Wilson's a bust after game 3. I know it feels like that, but it's not. They undoubtedly will improve, but still, it's not the start we wanted. But this year was about like excitement, like with Salah, with LaFleur, with Wilson. And like Salah said multiple times in some of his press conferences before the season, like, I know we're going to be in a lot of like close games for the fourth quarter. It's about like those 1 or 2 plays that can make the difference in 1-score games. I wish we were in 1-score games. Like by halftime of these games, I'm already starting to like turn away from the TV and worried about drinking beer and throwing a football around and playing cornhole than I am like watching a game like it's bad. So yeah, it has to improve. Titans next week. Titans are an okay defense, so at least let the offense look like they're not the 32nd offense in the league, like maybe like the 28th, like somewhere. Again, if the Jaguars can score some points against the Broncos,
some yards, a few first downs.
The Texans with Davis Webb can score some points. The Jets scored points when they had Luke Falk or Davis Webb as their quarterback. Like, why can't this team score points? So it needs to change ASAP. It really does. But again, it's not time to jump ship and say these guys were terrible signings and hires and all this stuff. We're the youngest team in the NFL with a shit ton of draft capital, with a lot of free agency cap space. It's not like the Mac years, where Mac years we were terrible. We had no cap space, and we had little draft picks. So like, there's a difference between a young team that sucks and an old team that sucks. We were an old team that sucks. We're now a young team that really, really sucks. So that's, if you could grasp any positives, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, and I don't mind losing because of inexperience. I'm okay with that. It's what irritates me is the stuff that feels unprepared, like the mental errors, the offsides, the delay of game on the 56-yard field goal. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Eccles just not even turning around to try and like not get a pass interference. You 3rd and 10 and you're friggin' putting the ball on the 1-yard line just before the end of the half. Like, at worst, we should have been like 3-13 going into halftime, and then it's like at least sort of a game. You get the ball back, and you're shooting yourself in the foot with stupid penalties. I want to say we were either 8 or 9 penalties for like 90 yards yesterday. You're giving the other team 100 extra yards. It's insane. Joe S drops in with a super chat. Actually, hold on. Nick Chaplin, you've been qualified for a t-shirt giveaway for tomorrow. If you want to get qualified, all you have to do is hit the like button. Every 25 likes, we're going to give away another qualifier. And if you are watching this after the fact, just drop a comment in the comment section. And if you have not followed Joe and the Jets X Factor guys, make sure you follow them. They're down in the description down below. All 3 of their Twitters, as well as the Jets X Factor page. Make sure you follow them. They have some great breakdowns. Real quick with Joe S, and then I got to jump to a commercial break briefly. Joe S says, why isn't Elijah Moore playing the slot? In my mind, for me, when I'm looking at this team, I'm thinking, okay, Corey Davis one side, Mims on the other side, Elijah Moore in the slot. That's what I'd like to see. I don't know all the X's and O's of football. Joe, you know a whole lot about it. Can you tell me why we're seeing Elijah Moore on the outside as opposed to maybe in the slot where Berrios seems to be making a living?
Yeah, I would say, I guess, more in the slot. It's not like a traditional offense where there's much difference between the slot and the Z. Like they're pretty close in general. They have tighter splits, so it's not like it's a massive difference, to be completely honest. And Elijah Moore too, like in general, like I know this game, I forget exactly when he went out with the concussion. Again, a lot of beers were flowing. It's a way to drown your sorrows out. So
it's towards the end of the game.
I forget like half the game. Like if I talk about the game, I'm almost.
I wish I could forget half the game. I sat here and watched the whole. Oh God, I really hope CeeDee Lamb doesn't have a good game. I want a lot of rushing touchdowns. I'm up like 35 points. The dude I'm version has Dak Prescott and friggin' CeeDee Lamb. So
I'm playing a guy who's down like 21 points and he has _𝐸. So my luck, he'll get 22 points. I'll lose because of a kicker. So it is what it is. But yeah, no, it's. I wouldn't really look for I don't think that's the problem with Moore, and he's been effective when he's been in the game. Obviously, the Panthers game, again, everybody's so hyped up in the offseason, but we've been Jets fans are really reactive, and I get it because of how long it's been that we've sucked. So I get the fans being really reactive, but like they were really looking forward to Elijah Moore, and we were all thinking he was going to be great, and for good reason. Like his tape in college was really good. What he was doing in camp was apparently really, really good as well. And week 2, he was getting open. Like he was definitely getting open, and he just wasn't hit. Like that post wheel concept where he was open for a touchdown. Yeah, maybe did he drift the route outside a little bit too much? Maybe. But Zach Wilson still put the ball in a bad area, and if it was on target and leading him properly, it most likely would have been like a 40-yard touchdown, 50-yard touchdown, wherever he was. And he's getting open, so it's not like Elijah Moore isn't producing. It's just the fact that Zach Wilson's struggling. The offensive line is playing like garbage for the most part, and LaFleur is struggling. So yeah, Elijah Moore's not going to. He hasn't had that bust out game yet because nobody really has, minus Corey Davis, I guess, in week one. But other than that, nobody's really had any great games. So, and a lot of that has to do as a receiver in terms of, getting production is because of the quarterback, the play calling, the offensive line. It's a combination of that stuff. So, I wouldn't be concerned with him not playing the slot. It's really not so much different than the Z in this offense in general. So,
guys, we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, BetQL. Want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their Best Bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do your own research? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. There's sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and over-under, and team lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks as well as view your rank on their leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/JetsTalk to get started now. Enter discount code JetsTalk at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in any of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up for one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook this football season. All right. Thank you, BetQL. Vinny drops into the super chat. Vinny says, saving grace, Brown started young and built it up in a couple of years. Hopefully it's just growing pains for everyone this year. I'm done with growing pains. It's been growing pains forever. No. The Browns, for me, I don't know. Look, they had to do a lot of wheeling and dealing. They did a few trade downs. I don't know. They got Baker. That team wasn't too bad when they got Baker. And then they just added more talent over the years. And I think their window to win is probably, I would say, 2 years. They could probably maneuver some money from Baker's contract before he gets paid. I don't think he's going to get paid this year. I think they'll wait till maybe before next season, kind of make it a prove-it year for him. But, Joe, what do you think about multiple building years? Like, how far out do you feel the Jets are based on what we've seen so far? And does a top 5 pick necessarily help us? Like, is that the catalyst for the future?
Yeah, of course, a higher pick helps. But again, and I know it's a building year, and I completely agree with Vinny to a certain extent. Like, yes, there's growing pains. Yes, the Browns started off like this, or started off, poorly. The Bills did with Josh Allen. It wasn't necessarily, this bad. But yeah, top 5 pick helps again. And you talk about like the building we've always been building. Again, there's a difference between being with McCagnon and being an old team that sucks with no cap space, no draft picks, than being a young team that sucks with cap space and draft picks. So it'll go up from here, undoubtedly. It'll go up. And the offense is really far away. They definitely need, and the offensive line, I know they poured a lot of resources into it, but like going towards the future or into the future, like based on the way McGovern plays high and low each game, he shouldn't be here. GVR is not going to be here. Is Moses Hurfant going to be the right tackle next year? We don't necessarily know. And Becton, while he didn't necessarily have injury problems in college, based on his weight, you'd have to assume there's going to be some type of injury concerns just carrying that much weight on your joints and things like that. So how the offensive line seems to be relatively far away. And then you look at, tight ends, that's a massive need. They still have needs at the running back position. Obviously, that's a secondary need at this point, but still, they still need a couple of guys. I don't think Ty Johnson's great. I don't think Tevin Coleman's a jag. I think the only long-term piece they have at running back is Michael Carter. So they're pretty far away on offense. But again, a few pieces, better coaching, Zach Wilson, they'll definitely they'll get there in terms of at least looking like a NFL offense at this point. And then you look at the defense in the future years, you add a couple of pieces to this defense. This defense has been playing really, really well considering where they've been put on the field and how long they've been on the field. So if you were to add a number one corner next year, a linebacker, you get Carl Lawson back, you hope that he's at least 90%, 85% of what he was. This defense isn't very far away, but it's the offense. So getting a top 5 pick and drafting, an Evan Neal or whoever it's going to be would help a lot. So they're going to have their lumps. We just didn't expect the lumps to be this large.
Yeah, it's what kills me is I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking okay, well, what pick winds up helping the Jets the most? And I'm thinking an edge rusher, the top of the draft. I'm thinking the center from Iowa has gotten great reviews. I haven't watched any tape on him, but it seems like, late 20s is kind of where he's expected. If we have to pull the trigger early 20s on a Seattle first round pick, I'm all about it based on everything we got from McGovern. I don't know if we have McGovern under contract for next year or not, or if he's a free agent, but I would be open to moving him over to right guard and booting Van Roten to the street. It just feels like we just need help across every facet of this team. And Coleman, while I think he's a jag, I think he at least, I didn't notice him whiff on blitz pickup the way I noticed specifically Ty Johnson, but I guess Michael Carter was pretty bad yesterday too. Just not picking it up and just getting Wilson killed because of it. And especially because a lot of that pressure is coming up the A-gap. And that's literally a no-go for the quarterback. Once pressure's coming up the A-gap, it is not a lot of fun to watch your quarterback scrambling around. I don't know. It's just, it's tough to watch week in and week out. And I want to be able to grade the team. And I feel like if Wilson is on his back, as many times as we said earlier in the stream, and the amount of pressures he's got, he's on pace to break the sack record by 10 sacks. That's absurd. It's not all right. Defensively, I have enjoyed what I've seen so far from the defense. As much as Teddy Bridgewater kind of late in the game moved the ball at will, and it was a banged up Broncos team. They lost. Oh God, who's the guy that tore his ACL yesterday? The wide receiver.
Hamler.
Hamler. He tore his ACL. They were without Jerry Jeudy. So they're not a full strength team, but at least the defense, especially the secondary. I thought the secondary was going to be really bad this year. I thought we were going to lose a lot of games by a lot of points because teams were passing on us, and it just hasn't felt that way. It's felt more like the offense can't score points and the defense just gets gassed. That to me is a different level of defensive failure. Especially if the Jets could wind up scoring some points. This is probably the most frustrating thing. If the Jets could score some points, then you could possibly see a pass rush, or you could get some type of, you could, the Jets have to pass. We're behind early. So the other team can just start teeing off on us, on a pass rush situation. You could just pin your ears back and come after us. With the Jets, it's irritating for me because I want to see some type of points. And in September, that's when you expect to see points because offenses and defenses haven't quite figured out, there's not enough tape out there yet. But the fact that the Jets are this inept on offense right now and they're going to have tape on this offense now as we go forward. It's very frustrating to see this consistently happen. And I don't know. I just want to see things get better from our Jets. And I'm looking at the schedule. I'm looking at the Titans. Maybe the Falcons are a win. And then you start going down the list. And it's man, I do not have a whole lot of confidence in wins this season.
No. Yeah. And again, they're going to progress. And with that state, it's not a new offense, obviously, Ryan. So they have enough tape to know what they will do. Now tendencies and stuff like that, maybe not, but it's not like it's a completely new offense. So LaFleur has to get his wheels under him and spinning, calling the right plays again, going like empty on 4th and 1, and again, not giving Wilson easy completions to get him rolling. I think there's been too much of a tendency to run on first down. The lack of orbits and sweeps and actually handing the ball off has been odd, considering we saw some of that in preseason. And that's what this offense is like built upon, getting those kind of easy yards on more of those like trickery type plays. So he has to get his head out of his ass. It's been a problem with him too. But like, and now with that, like people always want to place blame on one guy. Like people don't want to blame Wilson, and it is a part of Wilson. But last week they had a doubles concept, just 2 verticals and a seam route. The seam route was wide open. Wilson was looking at that seam route. Guess what? GVR got beat. Zach Wilson couldn't step into the throw. He got either sacked or threw it away. I forget on that play. The post wheel against man coverage with a pick from I think the number 2 slot worked perfectly. Wilson didn't put the ball where he needed to put the ball, and more might have drifted out a little bit too far to the outside. Could have been a touchdown. Wasn't. So like it's a combination of everything. But there's not one unit that's really not at fault. The receivers been dropping balls. The tight ends have been iffy with their blocking. Obviously, they're not game breakers. The running backs, let's be honest, again, other than Michael Carter, I said this was a bottom 5 to 3 unit, and people kind of got on me for that. But like Ty Johnson is not good with blitz pickup. He's not good in terms of reading. Now is he fast? Does he truck some guys over? Does he play with heart? Sure, but I think he's more of a 3 or 4 type running back than a 1A or a 1B. Tevin Coleman is the definition of a Jag to me. And then P. Ryan's injured or whatever, and he's still a Jag. So the offensive line's always been consistent. So there's a combination of problems. Now in terms of the defense, like you're saying, like the corners have been playing well, especially and the defense in general has been playing well. Like 25 points to the Broncos, and then what last week was like 23, 24, 25, 26, whatever it was to the Pats. I'm trying to erase all that stuff from my memory already. Especially considering you have 4 picks, like the defense has been playing well, and that's considering like before the season. You lose Lawson, then you lose Joyner in the first game. You lose Jarrad Davis, you lose Sherwood, and you're playing with Delshon Phillips, Quincy Williams, Sherrod Niesman, all these backups at safety, all the backups at linebacker, UDFA last year at D end. Tim Ward, who's been playing some snaps at D end, who just got brought in off the scrap heap. And considering all of that adversity, plus the offense playing like absolute garbage and putting them in terrible positions, plus them being gassed and not having any momentum, you have to be thrilled with the defense. Like if they were to add a few pieces, that defense could be pretty damn good. And that's Sal's bread and butter. And I think him and Ulbrich have been absolutely killing on that side of the ball. So like you get Lawson back next year, you get Davis, you add a linebacker, a corner, a safety next year. This defense could be pretty good. So it's the offense that needs, again, another one of those drafts of last year, not in terms of the guys we picked. People obviously don't like some of the picks, but like the first 2 picks, offense. Mm-hmm. The 2 second-round picks, offense. And we just need to pour into offense to help out Zach Wilson because, again, like you said before, you don't want him throwing off his back foot and getting shell shock because that will inevitably ruin a quarterback. It will. So they need to protect him this season and then protect him going in the future, going forward. I don't think the defense is far away, but again, they need to figure it out really soon.
So I need to get your thoughts on this. Like the Jets have 2 first-round picks. In my mind, I like just sort of looking at the team. I'm thinking top 4 picks in any sort of order: interior offensive line, defensive end, cornerback, tight end. And when I'm looking at like strength and where you might want to get value at certain points in the draft, I'm thinking edge rusher early. I'm thinking center in the late 20s, mid 20s, whatever that is. Then I'm thinking, tight end, corner in that sort of respect. Do you think we should be going all offense, or is there like, do you see the need at edge rusher, or do you think Lawson is that guy, or do you think maybe we have some money in free agency? Do you think maybe we should look free agent wise for the defensive side and get the young guys on the offensive side? I know it's really early to talk draft. Yeah. A lot of people haven't even remotely looked at that. I do not know what the rankings are. I've literally looked at 2 mock drafts because there was a thing that was out. But is there some sort of strategic maybe theory or something like that you would like to see the Jets sort of follow going into next offseason?
Yeah, it's people always hate my answers when I say this stuff because I say it's way too early, like you already alluded to. Now, obviously, I'd like to see them lean heavier to offense, but in terms of the defense, okay, if Thibodeau is there and he's 100 on your board, he's 99 of 100 grade, and the guy below him is a tackle and he's an 88 out of 100, you don't want to skip on the generational prospect. I would definitely like to see them lean more offense in general. But with the draft, again, at this time last year, I always bring up this example. So it's perfect in my opinion. Shaun Wade was supposed to be a top 10, top 15 corner. He plays crappy the whole year. He's a 5th round pick, 6th round picks. Do we know where these guys are going to finish? Does Evan Neal get injured and now he's going to be a 3rd round pick? These guys always drop or rise. So I can't really say who, what, when, where, why. But I definitely want to lean more towards offense. In general, I think free agency, you look to they're going to know where they are in their draft position, what's there in terms of what they feel the strengths is. If the strengths are safeties in the draft, maybe they don't look to bring in that big free agent safety. If they feel confident they can get somebody valuable in the draft, they're at least with their best guess. So I like to see them attack the positions that are weak in the draft in free agency. And then hit whatever they don't in free agency. Obviously, in the draft, that's pretty simple, but with more of an emphasis on offense. If it's a tiebreaker between offense, defense, go offense. They can address the defense down the road. Again, it's already pretty solid with what it is. Just getting those guys healthy next year, they should be a pretty solid defense, and obviously they'll pour some assets into it. But if you only have one contract for, if you're leaning between the right guard and the safety next year in free agency or the draft, take the right guard or take the tight end or take the running back, whatever it may be, because that's what's necessary at this moment.
Guys, for every 25 likes we get, we're going to pick a qualifier for a t-shirt giveaway at the end of tomorrow's stream. If you're watching this after the fact, all you have to do is drop a comment and a like on this video after the fact, and then you'll get qualified as well. We already have Daniel Arena, Nick Chaplin, and Nightbot has just picked Steve-O Booze. Steve-O, how is it spelled? Stevo Boobs. Steve-O Boobs? Booze, boobs. Sorry, words are hard right now. You've been qualified for a t-shirt giveaway, so we'll do that afterwards. We're going to start call-ins in just a few minutes, so I want to give Joe the floor here. Talk to me. Tell us where we can find you. Give us any sort of closing thoughts. And thank you again for coming on this week.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me. I appreciate the makeup shotgun. It's been okay. It's not been fun. Let's be honest. None of us want to be here right now. No, I of course I always enjoy talking to you. It helps out to kind of vent. Go to Jets X Factor, subscribe. If you want to subscribe there, at least go catch their live streams. Jet X on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, 𝐗-𝐅31. How many people want to go and watch a 2-hour breakdown, 3-hour breakdown of the film right now? Probably not a lot, but for the people who want to see what went wrong and break it down frame by frame, I'll be there doing that live stream on Thursday. The film show usually comes out on Friday. Then check out Nania's work and Sabo's work and all the good writers we have, etc. We'd appreciate it. I know it's hard right now, but obviously support is still asked for. So I appreciate you, Ryan, and hopefully things start to look up. And against an okay defense next week, we look like a offense that belongs in the NFL. So looking forward to watching the game, I guess.
Dude, I got my fingers crossed. Dude, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And guys, all of Joe's links are down below in the description. Follow him on Twitter. Follow the Jets X Factor page. These guys put out some great content. They're the first stop I have when I'm looking at film breakdowns. These guys know their shit. I learn new words every time Joe does a new film breakdown. I was like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely amazing. So thank you, Joe.
Yep. Have a good stream.
All right, take it easy, dude. Thank you so much. Guys, that was Joe Blewett from Jets X Factor. We are going to jump into some phone calls. So I will throw that up on the screen, get some phone numbers, and then we'll get some call-ins from you guys. If you want to support the stream, so I haven't really announced that I'm doing this yet, but there's a link down below, the news break link. Doesn't cost you anything, but I started putting out some content over there. The ad revenue is a little bit better. So it's mainly the same stuff I'm doing over at YouTube, but they give me a little kickback for anyone that winds up downloading the app through my link. So if you want to support the channel and take 30 seconds of your time There's a little link down below. Follow the news break link. I'll be posting some stuff over there. I might do a few things that are a little bit different than what I do on YouTube. So if you want additional content for free, it doesn't cost you anything. It literally just takes you 30 seconds of your time. It would be greatly appreciated. But let's jump over to the Google Voice. Let's see. Come on, Google Voice. Words. Words are hard right now. You shotgun a beer and you start pounding additional beers after that, and things start going all over the place. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you. What do you guys think about the game yesterday? Vent. I want to hear it all because I know I was spitting nails during the game, and you saw my post game. I was not happy. I'm usually a pretty optimistic person, and this was like not fun at all. So make sure you reach out. Let's have some talking. Let's see. Got a caller on the line.
Cad.
Hey, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
How are you, buddy?
I'm trying to hang in there, dude. This team makes me drink. That's what it comes down to. How are you feeling, brother?
Excellent. Me too.
Oh, dude, it's hard to get excited each week. The nice thing is we have the rookie quarterback. So it's like, okay, let's try to at least see some positives. And I go out there and I'm sitting there, I'm watching the whole game. I'm like, man, it's hard to make a highlight video with every throw, knowing I'm not going to get any views on this damn thing. No one gives a shit when we're losing. I'm just frustrated.
But he played a lot better this week than he did last week. And
that's true. That makes me feel a lot better.
We had a lot of drops. We couldn't run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But the frustrating thing is Elijah Moore is an unbelievable slot receiver.
Yes.
When we go Braxton Berrios, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, we only have one outside threat. I don't understand why Denzel Mims can't get on the field to even just stretch the field.
That's what's the most infuriating thing for me. You have a 6'3", 4.3 speed receiver at your disposal, and you can't find a way to get him on the field. I just put him in for the Mims package. Who gives a shit if it's he runs 3 routes? I trust him to be athletic enough and fast enough to be able to figure out what those routes are going to be and to beat his man. And you know what? If it's not, you put him in and you say, okay, this is the route you're running. If it seems like coverage is starting to shift over his way, go somewhere else with it. It cannot be worse. We need a spark on offense, and I feel like Mims is the type of guy that could provide a spark to this offense.
Who on the whole team could go deep except Denzel Mims? You can't run Braxton Berrios deep for a contested catch.
No, Elijah Moore's got the wheels, but it doesn't seem like he's got the height to be able to do it. So, unless he's taking the entire top off the offense or off the defense, not to mention if Zach Wilson is only getting 1.7 seconds on a drop back, it seems like a ridiculous thing to try and ask to have a deep pass. You can't have a deep pass without the coverage.
And why are we running so many 2 tight end sets when our tight ends aren't our strength? I don't understand that. And why? And if we drafted Denzel Mims in the 2nd round, why are we asking him to play special teams? You would never ask a 2nd rounder to play special teams ever.
No, it absolutely drives me fucking bonkers.
So how did he get in the doghouse? He just ran some bad routes in practice?
I don't know. I think there's definitely something more. It feels like something more is going on. I don't know whose Cheerios he pissed in, but it's super frustrating. You just got to get the guy in the field.
You play favorites, but Mike LaFleur has done a horrible job of getting people open, of scheming people open.
Mm-hmm.
How many jet sweeps have we ran this year?
Dude, I haven't seen enough plays where we can at least scheme guys open. It feels like these guys are forced to use their God-given athletic ability to get open, which is, fine and whatnot. But I feel like the Shanahan system is mainly focused on scheming guys open, and it doesn't feel like that's what's happening. Now, a lot of our issues are drop passes, which is driving me up a wall because I think Corey Davis was credited with 2 drops. I said 3 because I thought the one where the safety came over the top and kind of knocked it out. I thought he should have had that ball.
Right.
I don't know. It's just it's tough for me, especially with Ty Johnson dropping balls, and you got Michael Carter dropping balls and whiffing on the blitz pickup. It feels like there should be way more success on this offense than what we're getting out of the talent level we have.
And how are we asking Ty Johnson to block so much? He can't even chip Von Miller.
That drove me bananas, right? Like that play where he came off the side and he beat Morgan Moses. It was like a little like a tap, and then he kept going. I was like, dude, like throw your whole body at him. Like no one's trying to throw you the ball right now. And if they are,
we actually helped Von Miller because he pushed him out wider, which gave Von a better angle to get to Zach.
Yes. Yeah. No, 100%.
Had no chance of getting out to him.
No, 0. Von Miller is so fast. You have to be able to at least stop, like at least impede him. Like I don't know what the time frame was of Ty Johnson like preventing the speed of Von Miller, but it might have been like a quarter of a second. Like just keep your body in the way and he's got to go around you or at least push you over. That's at least a half a second, a 3/4 of a second to a second. And that at least helps. Like, come on.
Right. If he's just in front of him, he's got to go around him.
Yeah. But there's no way that he's going to be able to get through you faster than what he did on that like limp dick block that he had.
Right.
Oh, dude, I'm frustrated. Brother, I'm going to get some more calls. Thank you so much for calling in. Boom! You've been ejected from the cockpit. That was a good call. Thomas Cahill, thank you for the super chat. He says, when will Douglas make some moves? I don't think we're trading for any assets. We're not really meant to be a great team this year. So I think what's going to happen is you'll see the Jets sort of sit and play the waiting game. Let the young guys play. I'm fine with taking lumps. I just want to see some like progress while we take our lumps. That's my big thing.
Call from
Joel.
Joel, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Yo, Ryan, man, I got a bone to pick with you, Green Bean, and Matt, man. I'm mad at y'all.
Fire away.
Nah, man.
What are you upset about?
Nah, man, you guys were promoting that you guys are going to be at the Gotham City Crew tailgate. I ended up paying $60, and you guys never showed up. I even ran into you guys and was speaking with you guys, and you guys were at the Chet Nation barbecue. And if it was free, the Gotham City Crew, I would have been cool with it. But, I ended up paying $60. I'm not a rich dude. I'm a working class guy.
Brother, reach out to me.
Show up, that was wrong.
Brother, reach out to me in my email, and I will make that right for you 100%. We were absolutely at the Gotham City tailgate prior, and then we wound up jumping around and moving around. So it's my fault for not being in that spot. So reach out to me. I'll make it right for you.
Yeah, man, that was wrong, man. I was real pissed off. I had a real fucked up day that day, and that was like one of the things that really messed up my day. Like, I was like, damn, my fucking Jets got destroyed, and on top of that, the guys that, and I met Matt and Green Bean before at the Coney Island thing, and I get it. You guys are like YouTubers, and you guys want to move around, but again, you guys are promoting something that people have to pay for, and then when I get there, you guys aren't there. And I just saw you guys in passing at another barbecue, and I figured I didn't want to bother you guys because you guys are going to make your way over there. And then you guys never came. I was like, damn, like I don't know. The way y'all were promoting it, I felt like y'all were part of it, and come to realize y'all weren't part of it. And not only that, y'all never showed up.
Yeah, I'll admit, I definitely thought we were going to be over there more than we were. I stopped by before I saw you, because if you saw me at the Jet Nation tailgate, I definitely know who you were. So I definitely apologize for that. I definitely meant to be at the Gotham City tailgate longer. And then the guys for Let's Talk Jets Radio were like, hey, we haven't talked to you in a while. And we wound up making our way that way. And by the time we started making our way back to the Gotham City tailgate, it was time to go in. And that's on me, brother.
All right, man. I forgive you, man. But, I just had to say, I had to get it off my chest, man. Like, but,
no, of course. I will 100% admit when
was,
I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting that. And I apologize for not being at the tailgate longer than we were.
No problem, man. There's water under the bridge. I just wanted to get that off my chest. But let me just tell you about my day that day. And just
sure, yeah. I want to hear about it.
You could go on about. So that day was horrible for me. First of all, I went with a Giants fan. And this dude was is obnoxious, some dude, some crazy motherfucker, one of my boys. The whole time he's like screaming, "Fuck the Jets! Eli Manning is the Patriots' daddy." This, that, and the third. And on top of that, I'm playing him in fantasy football, and he's destroying me. He's beating me.
Your
by
buddy saying
70. that? No, my buddy's screaming, "Fuck the Jets! Giants own the Patriots. Eli Manning is the Patriots' daddy." The whole game, like we almost got into like 3-4 fights because of this dude. Every time Zach Wilson threw an interception, he was screaming in my ear, and then on top of that, he was beating me badly in fantasy. I'm talking about like he beat me by like 80.
Oh, dude, who was on your team that like really no-showed for you?
Hold on, I gotta look who really shit the bed.
Nah, pull it up, dude. You gotta pull it up. So let me tell you how my fantasy like season has started. I've won my work league 2 of the last 3 years, and this year I started. I did not start Antonio Brown, Gronk, or Corey Davis week 1. I was like, you know what? I wasn't going to start. I'm going to put him on my bench. I wind up losing by like, I don't know what the total score was, but it's like maybe like 15 points. I was like, you've got to be kidding me that I did that. Then week 2, I put up the second most points in the league. I'm like, oh, feeling good. I'm looking at it. I was like, man, the guy I'm going against, 172 points. I was like, I am not happy. I am a very salty fan right now. And then this week. So I'm trying to keep an eye on the Dallas game. Right now I have the most points in the league, and I'm projected, if everything goes the way Dallas is supposed to go, I think I'm I'm up 35 points. And the guy's got Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And I love me some CeeDee Lamb. So I'm like, I'm not rooting for CeeDee Lamb, even though I have CeeDee Lamb on some of my other teams. But like, I need Zeke to have a big game. I cannot have this like Cowboys offense go off on the vertical passing game. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's super frustrating. Did you pull up your team?
Me, I just had a bunch of injuries. Elijah Mitchell, the running back from San Francisco, got hurt.
Yep.
Jarvis Landry got hurt. Mixon only got me 8.1.
Oof.
Like
Mixon's normally rock solid though. So like it sucks when you have weeks like that, but like I feel like Mixon is still a solid play.
No, I agree, but he just had a bad week that day. And then on top of it, I had the Washington football team going against the Giants. I figured their crazy defensive line was going to get...
Dude, I have Washington football team in, like, multiple leagues. I'm, like, totally not happy. I'm losing, like... I must have them in, like, 3 of my 4 leagues. Like, super hot. And they're, like, almost dead last in, like, every single category.
Yeah, nah. But, yeah, point is, I only scored 79.4 points that game. It was real bad for me that day. Yeah. Nah. But
I apologize.
Last thing, Joe Douglas is overrated. I'm done with this guy.
Come on. We got a little bit more time. Let's give him a little bit more time for this draft class.
What time for me to give? He got 3 years.
Well, okay. So, it's 3 years with an asterisk, right? Because you have the first year he came in after free agency and after the draft. So really he didn't have a whole lot to do with that offseason going into it. Then last year he's drafting guys to fit the Gase system. And I think there's probably a little asterisk. Like I think part of Mims is the scheme fit that is not making sense. It's super frustrating for me because I think Mims should be on the field. But when I'm looking at his draft class, like Becton looks like a hit when healthy, and he didn't have health issues beforehand. So, like, that's super irritating. Mims not being a fit sucks, but I guess it's kind of what happens when you wind up having a regime change. I didn't like the Morgan pick. Zuniga pick whiffed. I don't love P. Ryan, but I guess there's still a little bit there. Clark hasn't played. Man's, like, good when he's in. Unfortunately got knocked out week 1. I like Bryce Hall. Hitting on him in the 5th round is a huge get for a starting corner. And then Ashton Davis can't stay healthy, and Morgan's already off the team. So, like, his first draft, very, very frustrating. This draft feels like it's looking more promising, and it's also like 3 games into their rookie careers for this year.
Yeah, but what I didn't like is how the hell you put Zach Wilson behind that offensive line, man. I was screaming for Trey Smith. Trey Smith, we could have drafted Trey Smith instead of Jason Pinnock. I don't know what Trey Smith PFF grading is, but I was watching the Chiefs game the other day, and I was just looking at him the whole game. I used to play offensive line, so I'm. It's not weird for me just to look at an offensive lineman. This dude was mauling dudes. I'm talking about destroying dudes, and he went in the 6th round. Like, how are you? And Joe Douglas is a former.
I think I'm
doing?
pretty sure Trey Smith, he would have gone in the 2nd round, but I think I want to say it was the 2nd round, but I think he had some type of blood issue or like he had something wonky. Blood clots, that's what it was. Yeah. He had something goofy going on. And I don't blame him for not going that route. And honestly, I don't really blame Joe Douglas I blame him for the offensive line, but it's not like he hasn't tried. I mean, I went over it earlier. Let me go through it. In his 2.5 years here, Ryan Cleal, Alex Lewis, Greg Van Roten, Connor McGovern, George Fant, Morgan Moses, Mekhi Becton, trading up for AVT using 2 third-round picks, plus Cameron Clark. The guy has thrown a ton of assets at it. Now, maybe it's his scouting department. Maybe it's his own judgment of these players is just not good, or maybe it's coaching or something in between. I don't really know. I fault Douglas for the end results, but it's not like he hasn't tried. Like, he has thrown a lot of assets at this to make it work, so it's not like they ignored it the way McCagnon did.
I don't like how he drafted 19 safeties instead of drafting a couple guards, a couple centers, a tackle in the later rounds. We need to get the offense, man. I'm tired. The Jets, they always suck on offense. We've always had a good defense. It's always
but how much are you trying to get a stud that late in the draft? Like, usually once you get past like maybe the 4th round, you start talking about like special teamers and guys that may not make the roster. If you can hit on 3 of your draft picks, that's above average for a draft class. So you're basically looking, if we can hit on Wilson, if we can hit on AVT, if you can hit on Elijah Moore, Carter's bonus, if any of the later round guys wind up sticking, especially in any sort of depth capacity, it's still not that bad. But like, I agree, we're not getting the performance for the amount of assets we've put into this.
He messed up by not taking a fly on Trey Smith. That was an egregious mistake. I was screaming for it the whole time. That's a mistake that cannot happen. In the later rounds, that's when you take a flyer on a guy. If a guy got a medical issue, why are you drafting Jason Pinnock, which I don't even know if he's on the team anymore, but instead of a guy who has 1st-round grading but has lung problems? Okay, maybe you draft him. If he has him, you cut him. He was a 6th-round pick anyway. But that was a big mistake. The Chiefs got to steal with that.
I do think it's absolutely worth it for the Jets, or any team for that matter, to go with the high upside guys that have some type of issue, but should have gone a lot higher. Like, those are the types of swings you need to take a crack at, and I think that's kind of where the Jets sort of missed there. I do think they tried some high upside guys. Like, Nasir Al-Din was considered like a 2nd-round pick, like pre-injury, and he just kind of, he's a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes. I wouldn't have ideally wanted him starting. Our linebacker core is pretty thin, but like, Trey Smith is an interesting one because it's definitely something that Matt Greenbean and I had talked about as like, hey, 4th round, 5th round, like, take a flyer on a guy, and it just didn't happen. But brother, I'm gonna get to some more calls. Seriously, reach out to me via email, and I'll make things right for you, brother.
How do I get your email?
It should be down in the description. I have it in there. Or it's in my about tab too. It's in a few different ones. It's just jetstalk247@gmail.com.
All right. I'll hit you up.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Right, later.
All right, boys and girls. Let's get to some more callers. What do we got? What do we got for likes on this thing? We're up to 92 likes. 6 more likes, and we wind up getting another qualifier for tomorrow's t-shirt giveaway. Vinny, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Pain.
That was the most lame intro ever. What's going on, Vinny? Talk to me.
Nothing. I just another week, another piss poor Jets performance. I don't know what's more pathetic, the Jets offense or Disney's attempt to be feminist.
Dude, I think the Jets' entire team was pathetic. I don't think there's anything you could put up the Jets team that was better or that was worse than what the Jets put up.
I thought they'd at least put up, there are a couple Broncos starters on defense where,
thought they'd maybe at least show something. But my God, that was just awful.
Dude, what kills me is like I'm looking at the Broncos and I don't really know what to think of them because they beat the 0-3 Giants, the 0-3 Jaguars, and the 0-3 Jets. And I'm like, okay, well, like, where are we? Like, what is our team? You look at all the rookie quarterbacks. All the rookie quarterbacks have played. I mean, what is it? I think there's one win of all the rookie quarterbacks, and it's Mac Jones against Zach Wilson. Yeah, it was Mac Jones against Zach Wilson.
Yeah, so it's rookie against rookie, so it cancels out.
Dude, drives me friggin' bonkers.
No, you know what the thing is frustrating? And I was looking to relax because I just helped my uncle cut down a dying apple tree. And I had blisters on my hands that I had to pop. And I was looking to sit down, relax, and enjoy a nice game of football, and I couldn't. Like, I just was so frustrated. I wish I could just go back to his house, just pull an axe out of his head and just start hacking at the at the chunks of wood. That's how frustrated I was.
I'll admit I had a pretty good morning. I went, we saw some friends. They just had a new baby, within the last month. I think it's a month ago today. And we were really excited. We got to see him. And then we come back. I'm watching like the early games. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm laughing a little bit. The Giants lost, on the last second field goal. I'm laughing a little bit. The Lions lost on a 66-yard field goal. And then I was like, oh, the Jets are going to we're going to lose, but whatever. It's going to be reasonable. And then we just got smacked around. Not good. I could not. It just drives me up a friggin' wall, brother.
It does. I don't get what LaFleur. You spend that many years as Kyle Shanahan's right-hand man, and you just look like you have no clue what you're doing.
Dude, I don't know if Shanahan just hid all the plays and all the knowledge in his little cupboard of secrets. But it feels like LaFleur hasn't learned anything from Shanahan, and that is absolutely terrifying to me because I would like to see. I thought we were going to see some competent offense, but it feels very. I don't want to say Gase-like because you're not running a 36-year-old running back up the A gap every time, but it's certainly. I don't know if you've seen the memes. There's a lot of really funny memes that are literally Mike LaFleur with Shaggy or whoever it is, Fred pulling the mask off, and it's Adam Gase underneath, and it's just man, really. I just want to see some offense.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see something. I just, it's just,
I will say this. The second game where Wilson threw the 4 interceptions against the Patriots, I thought at least, so he throws the 2 picks in the first 2 passes, and then you watch what LaFleur did. He started running the ball. He took the ball out of Wilson's hands. He wanted to calm him down. I won't give him shit for the Patriot game, but I thought through 3 games, given the talent we have on this team, we should have more points than what we've gotten out of this offense. And it's disappointing. And he's rightfully so. He should be on not the hot seat, but should be under fire for sure.
But how is it in an era in which everybody is scoring in the double digits? We can't even average 1 touchdown a game.
I saw some stat, and it was no team through 3 games has scored as few points as the Jets since the Jets 20 years ago. I think is what the stat was. It was something stupid. I was oh, dude, really? That's how bad we are? For the love of everything.
I think I pissed off. I pissed off the guys that thought Jets because I was super optimistic before the game, and they completely just gave up after.
Well, before this game? Or are you talking about
I was out there. I thought they'd put up a fight. I thought they'd just keep it simple, keep it fast.
Look, I didn't think we'd win by any stretch of the imagination.
I thought we could put up a fight.
We'd score a touchdown. I thought I'd at least see a bounce back game from Wilson. It really got to I don't know. I think we maybe had. I don't know. Wilson had some good throws that were dropped. He had some bad throws that maybe should have been caught. There was one throw to Davis across the middle that I was that's not a good throw. And then I rewatched it and I was oh man, he actually threw the ball in such a position that it allowed his receiver not to get his head taken off during the catch. I don't know. I want to see consistent growth throughout the year. And it feels like each week there's some part of the team that's not quite there. Week 1, it was like the entire team, and then Wilson put the team on his back in the second half. And then second game, the rest of the team looked all right, but Wilson really sucked. And then third week, like the rest of the team didn't show up, and Wilson had like a game.
Mm-hmm. The only saving grace is that Tennessee has no defense, but knowing the way they're looking right now, they're going to make them look elite.
Well, that's just it. Like, I don't have someone. I said the Jets were going to lose to the Broncos, and I think the Broncos were going to cover the spread. And I had someone comment, and I don't remember who the commenter was, but someone commented and said, "Oh, well, they lost to the 0-3 or the 0-2 Giants and the 0-2 Jaguars." And I was like, we are the 0-2 Jets, and there's nothing that we have seen through 2 weeks of this season that makes me feel like we are any better than the Jaguars or the Giants. And like, I don't know if the guy responded back.
I think it's fair to say we have a better locker room than the Jags.
I don't know. I mean, when you're talking about Van Roten throwing Wilson under the bus and like everyone kind of, you're starting to hear a little bit more chirping, and I just want to see some like form of offense, so that way it's not what we're getting week in and week out. Like, we haven't seen a win that we wanted in 2 years, 2.5 years. Like, it sucks. Like, the morale around this fan base and this team just is not fun right now.
No.
All right, brother. I'm gonna get some more callers. You've been ejected from the cockpit. How many likes we got? We got another qualifier. Oh, we got another qualifier. Let's throw another qualifier at a winner, right, for this to work. Have Nightbot pick another winner for us, and you get qualified for a T-shirt at the end of this stream. Who we got?
Call from
Peter.
Peter, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
How you doing, Ryan?
I'm trying to hang in there, dude. Dude, week in and week out, it's just not fun.
The misery is real, isn't it?
Dude, it's like serious. The amount of like sadness that we just go through. Like, if you bottled all my tears, I'd be able to like, I don't even know what you would do. But if you could turn that into like actual water, you could probably like put out some wildfires in California with the amount of tears I've shed for this team.
I didn't even get the chance to watch the game, and I shed so many tears.
Oh, man. Dude, it's like, I wish I didn't watch the game. Like, it sucks. Just doing the content stuff, it's like I waste so much time and energy on this team. And, like, I don't hang out with Becca, and she, like, gets irritated with me. So I'm like, dude, like, really? This is, I don't know. I just want to see some competent football and enjoy watching the team. And I haven't enjoyed watching the Jets in a long time.
I guess that makes the two of us, man, especially for myself being a fan for 20 plus years.
Oh, dude, like, at least we've had, like, what's sad, and I feel bad for, like, the older fans, because the last 20 to 25 years has really been, like, the most successful portion of Jets fanhood that you've had, and it's not great. It's like I feel sad, but you got the butt fumble. You got getting bounced in the championship game twice. Like, I don't know. I want to see.
And the crazy thing about it was that, like, I even had an invitation to fly out to Denver, and something just told me not to go.
Oh, dude, Denver's a lot of fun. I've never been inside the Mile High Stadium, but I've been to Denver a few times, and I've seen the stadium from the outside, and it's really cool. It's a fun city. I enjoy everything about it, but like. One of my best friends actually went to the game, and I'm talking to him before. He goes, "Oh, dude, we're probably gonna get smacked around." I was like, "Oh, dude, like no, like who knows? It's Teddy Bridgewater. Like I don't have a whole lot of faith in him. Like maybe we have a shot, and they're hurt and they're banged up." And he's like, "No, we're gonna lose." And then he's sitting there. I'm talking to him after the game. He goes, "Dude, like it was fun to be in the stadium, but man, that sucked."
I really thought we could have at least scored a touchdown or something, or even a field goal. And like you said earlier about Teddy Bridgewater, like he played the 0-3 Giants, the 0-3 Jaguars, and the 0-3 Jets. Let's see how he handles himself against Lamar Jackson. That would determine like if he's for real.
It's going to be interesting to see what this team has moving forward and how they respond to the bad games and the negative press. And like, I mean, talk show hosts, like basically everything that I've listened to the last day and a half has been like just roasting the team. And it's not just the Jets, it's the Giants too. It's both sides of things. But I just want to see, I don't know. I would love to see the energy that was around this team in 2015 and 2009 at the end of the season, 2010. Like, it sucks not being competitive week in and week out, and just knowing that you're going to have a top 10 draft pick, consistently. Like, I think on average, the Jets average like the 8th pick in the draft. So if you bet the Jets are going to have a top 10 pick at the beginning of the season, you're probably like in pretty decent shape to like hit that bet.
I personally think that our two first round picks might even be in the top 15 if Seattle keeps losing too.
I would love to see that. I think Seattle is better than what they've put forward so far. I mean, if they could not make the playoffs, that'd be fantastic. I don't know, because then you could trade down, right? Like if the Jets could wind up getting like, say, pick 15, like I don't think I'm taking a center at pick 15, but I don't know if the center I want from Iowa is going to be there at the beginning of the second round. So maybe a trade down. I don't know. It's hard to even look at mock drafts right now. I shouldn't say it's hard. But I'm trying to quell the temptation of looking at mock drafts only being 3 weeks into the season. I would like to believe that we would wind up somewhere in the 10 to 20 range by the time this is all said and done. But going 0-3 certainly doesn't help my case.
Let me ask you this: with one of our first rounders, would you actually draft a guard in the first or the second round?
I would prefer the second round. And honestly, I would prefer guard in free agency if we can. I don't know who's hitting free agency at all, but I would say edge rusher, center, tight end, and cornerback. Not necessarily in that order. I would say edge rusher, center would be my first 2 picks right now based on like where power rankings kind of rank some of these players. And then I would look, tight end, cornerback, depending on where the value winds up falling. I don't know. I don't know how much. I mean, you could get a good guard probably in like the second or third round. So if you want to wait a little bit longer, I'm not opposed to that. I don't know. What do you want to see?
Honestly, like I said, I really want to see a guard. Like anything to get Greg Van Roten out of the building, I'll be happy.
Yeah, he stinks. He's been really bad. And the whole press conference he had what was it, yesterday? Just not good. Don't throw Wilson's name out there. Someone's got to talk to the opponent's side.
No. I would never throw Wilson's name out there. I can't even throw Elijah Vera Tucker's name out there neither because he's still growing.
Oh, for sure. And that's just it. He's only 3 games into his rookie year. And I was super irritated when I saw him 20 yards down the field or whatever he was that far. And I was like, really, dude? Come on. This is a coaching thing. Someone's got to tell him, you cannot get down that far until the ball is in the receiver's hands or the running back's hands and then, go for it. But he was, not even close to the play. And he was you throw the 15 or 10 or 15-yard penalty, whatever it is. I don't know.
It's just crazy, man. I just hope somehow, some way we could probably get through Tennessee because, they're going in. I mean, yes, you got Derrick Henry to worry about, but A.J. Brown is not going to be playing. So that should give us a little bit of optimism.
Yeah, a little bit of optimism, but we got to score points to do it first. Brother, thank you so much for calling in. I am ejecting you from the cockpit. Rock solid call, though. And you know what? I'm gonna click out of the phone calls for just a second, and we are gonna step aside to let our sponsor BetQL drop a little bit of knowledge. And if you guys are looking at placing some bets, I would highly recommend the BetQL. Want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their Best Bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do your own research? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. There's sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and over-under, and team lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks as well as view your rank on their leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/jetstalk to get started now. Enter discount code JETSTALK at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also, check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in any of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up for one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook this football season. All right, phone number is on the screen. I want to hear from you guys. We got about another half hour left. And we could talk a little bit about your feelings, where you think the Jets should go. What are some of our solutions for the woes that we're seeing across Jetland? Jet Blues. I see that in the chat. Got a super chat. Let's throw super chat up on the screen. Let's take a second to recognize that. Ibrima John, thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, Browns were 0-17 a couple years back. Now they're a successful team. What do the Jets need to do to replicate that success? You would like to hit on the draft picks. That's a big part of this. Like, they got the Myles Garrett pick. They got the Baker pick. They traded down from the Wentz pick. They got some more assets. Now, I don't know how. I mean, they trade for Odell. They sign Conklin. There's a few areas that you kind of have to get a little lucky. The draft is a little bit of a crapshoot, and I know there's a lot of doom and gloom around the Jets and like, hey, look, the Browns are this bad. We can turn it around. And we absolutely can. And don't forget, look, we are 3 games in to a very young team. We have way more rookies playing than any other team. I want to say, I don't know if it was the Patriot game. It had to be after the Patriot game. The Jets had played more rookie players, or maybe it's players that don't have NFL experience, whatever it is, on a per snap basis than like any other team. And like the closest team was the Steelers. And I don't think it was even that close. And then beyond that, it was like 100 snaps less for the third team. And then after that, it winds up dropping a lot more. So the Jets are like way young. I would say this: give this team time. I'm not getting on the fire Sal. I'm not getting on the fire Douglas. I'm not getting on the fire LaFleur train at all. I'm giving them the entire year to figure it out. This is a learning experience. If from game 1 to game 17, they wind up looking better, then they're moving in the right direction. I'm a firm believer in consistency. Like, I would rather roll with Saleh for multiple losing seasons if the team believes in him. As long as the team believes in him and they're buying into what he's selling, then I think it's worth keeping him around and letting him grow through the lumps, because I think people really do respect him. And I think LaFleur has the knowledge and the talent to be a successful offensive coordinator, but I think he has to take some of his lumps too, just the same way that Wilson has to take his lumps. Now, you do have to protect your quarterback, and whether that's on the offensive scheming from LaFleur or just the offensive line in general, you got to figure that out, because 1.7 seconds per drop back is not okay for a rookie quarterback. He's on pace for 85 sacks this year, and that's just not a good thing to have for your rookie quarterback. So, phone number is not on the screen right now. Come on, Ryan. Bam. Phone number. Where is it? Phone number's on the screen. Call in. Talk to me. Let's have a discussion. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. And we'll get this figured out. If you would like your shot to win a shirt at the end of tomorrow's stream, all you got to do is drop a like. Every 25 likes we get on this video, we'll pick another qualifier to possibly win at the end of tomorrow's stream. Here we go. Who we got on the line?
Call from
Michael Kimmons.
Michael, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Oh, Ryan, I'm glad I got you. I kept on trying tonight 3 or 4 times.
Talk to me. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I'm calling from Florida. I've been a Jets fan since the Joe Namath days.
Oh, nice. Whereabouts in Florida are you calling from?
What was that?
Whereabouts in Florida are you calling from?
I live in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh, okay. I got some cousins in the Tampa area, and then my immediate family lives in Sarasota.
Yeah, I heard that. You had mentioned that once before. Yeah. Watching yesterday's game was, a disgrace.
Oh, it just hurts. I feel like I'm wasting my time.
And Brian, are you there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm here. Talk to me.
And the thing is, I'm flying out to New York Friday just to see the Jets on Sunday.
Oh no. Oh no. Hopefully you get some competitive games. Like at least you're gonna have hopefully we don't get shut out, right? Like maybe you get a field goal at least or some positive play.
You're not gonna be there, right?
No. I was invited to go to the Titans game. I wasn't able to go though, unfortunately. I got some family coming up myself. I'm gonna be at the Bengals game though. That's the Halloween game. And then I'm going to try to go to the Eagles game as well. Those are probably going to be the two that I'll try to make.
Yeah, but between airfare, hotel, the Jets tickets, it's I spent a lot of money just to see them, and I hope they win.
Oh, dude, trust me. Just from the home opener alone, between everything that I wound up doing, I wound up spending over $1,000, and I was like, oh, this sucks. Like really, like this is what I get from our team. Like, I just get angry, and I don't know.
So I don't know if you heard Sal's press conference today, but
I didn't get to listen to it. No,
they said with Elijah Moore, he probably is not going to play Sunday.
That doesn't surprise me. He definitely got. They said he had a concussion, right?
Yeah, and they don't think Crowder's going to play. So they were talking about that Mims will probably play.
I hope so, dude. You just gotta scheme him up, maybe not scheme him up, but just like create a few package plays for him. Let him get out there and just friggin' throw him the ball. The dude's big enough, fast enough. He's got to be able to make some type of I don't know. He's got to make some kind of plays. Dude's a second-round pick. Feed him the ball. With all the drop passes we have, you got to be able to see more than what we got out of him.
Yeah, I'd rather see him out there than Berrios,
Oh, well, yeah, 100%. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think Berrios absolutely has a place on this team, and I would trade Crowder because of how Berrios has performed. I'm okay with that. Like, I think the drop-off from Crowder to Berrios is small enough that the pick you would get from that would be more beneficial than the drop-off from Crowder to Berrios. But Mims, I am beyond shocked as to why we can't use this guy.
And what is the deal with Michael Pirine? How come he's not playing?
I think he's hurt. I could be wrong on that. I haven't really kept super close tabs on Pirine. Let me check it out now. Pirine. See what's going on with him. I should probably type in his first name. Michael. What is going on with LaMichael Pirine? I want to say it's an injury. Chat, let me know what's going on because I'm all over the place right now. Steve-O Booze says Pirine going to the practice squad. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't see anything popping up. I don't know what's going on with Pirine. He's not someone that I didn't love the pick when we made it. Like I thought that, or I think that I would rather see Ty Johnson. I would rather see Michael Carter, and I'd rather see Tevin Coleman over LaMichael Pirine. I know Green Bean feels a different way. Green Bean definitely wants to see Pirine out there because he sees a little bit more potential there than I do. But I don't know. Running back doesn't concern me all that much. It's more so the drop passes from the running back, the drop passes from the wide receivers, and like the inability to use weapons that you drafted highly, like a Denzel Mims. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Now, is there anybody else that could play right guard other than Roden?
I don't think so. Like you would have possibly considered Cameron Clark or Alex Lewis, but Alex Lewis, I don't know if he retired or if he's just like done for the year or whatever wound up happening with him. And then Cam Clark's at least on IR. I don't know if that's IR for the season and he's done for the year or if he can come back at some point, but it seems really thin at guard right now. And I think Van Roten is honestly just the best person we have. And it's like alarming because he's clearly the worst of the 5 offensive linemen. I think for me, what I'd like to see is the Jets draft a center and maybe kick McGovern over to guard for a year just to see what it's like. But ideally next year you get a new center and you get a new guard and you try to figure it out with a bunch of young guys. And then maybe they grow into the, into the offensive system. All right, brother. Thank you so much for the call. I'm going to get to some more calls. Solid call. Lots of good questions. Michael P. Ryan. Wish we could see more from him. How's Dak doing? My phone's up in the corner over there. I don't know how my fantasy team's doing. I need to hopefully not lose 35 points. Tell me how Lamb and Dak are doing together because I'm not seeing anything pop up over here.
From
Edon.
What's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's going on? Nice, man.
I'm trying to hang in there. How are you feeling after a tough Sunday?
Not good, dude. Not good at all. I mean, I'm only 18. I can only imagine like how these 40-year-olds feel.
Oh man, they've had to watch way more losing than we have, and like I'm already frustrated. And we've like you and I have probably watched the most successful stretch of Jets football like there's ever been, and it's like, dude, it's just brutal.
It's brutal. I mean, like this really was one of the toughest losses I feel like I've had in a while. Just because like I don't even want to see us win. Like I just don't care about that. But like to go out
no,
there
you gotta,
dude.
You want to see a win, right? Like you want to see Wilson get his first victory, and you want to see Salah get a victory. You want to see the guys get happy when they get the victory. As a Jet fan, I haven't witnessed a win that I've wanted to see in over 2 years, or I shouldn't say over 2 years, in about a year and a half, 2 years. Because like the 2 games we won last year, I'm like pulling my hair out. I was like, no, I wanted Trevor Lawrence, and like, luckily he's not looking all that great right now, so it's not as painful. But like, I just want to see some competent football.
Exactly. Like I just don't. I'm not as concerned with Zach as I really am with LaFleur. I don't understand what's going on. How it's like. It's the same. We've been running the same exact plays over and over again and expecting something else to happen. Like, why are all the passing routes 15 yards, 12 yards down the field? Like, we need to be getting the ball out of Zach's hands, like, quickly,
Oh, and yeah, 100%. I wish I could pull up I wish I had the play queued up, but there was literally a point it was either the first or second sack, whichever one that the linebacker came screaming up the middle on. And literally, we had a trips formation on the right-hand side of the line, and every single lineman, or not every single lineman, every single receiver ran like 5 yards and did a square in, and they're all like in line with like 4 defenders right there. I'm like, what is the objective of this play? Because there's no way any of these guys are going to get open. They're all in the same spot. There's a ton of people in this mess, and they're not past the line of script or not past the first down marker. So that to me was a LaFleur issue for sure. And I can understand where people are starting to get frustrated with this guy.
Literally. And just like the question I'm asking myself is though, like, what do you do from here? Like what's the next move? Because like to go into the next game and pretend like this didn't happen, I think is naive. Like we got the brakes beaten off of us. Like it wasn't even close. So I just don't know like what to do. If it was me, I mean, I'm giving the ball to Michael Carter like 25 times next game and just letting him run because we're in an offense where we're using play action, but we're barely running the ball. Like we have to keep the defense honest, and it's just like it's just ridiculous that we're not using him more. I mean, he's been playing the best on our offense probably the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the guy's super shifty. For me, I feel like the reason why we're not seeing as much play action and as much like stuff towards him is because the running game, because of the offensive line, has been so hit or miss. And then we're just getting a lot of drop passes and penalties. Like we're putting ourselves in weird downs and distances that are not conducive for like sustainable drives. And it's super frustrating because you have someone like a Michael Carter. And look, he's got to catch that pass up the seam. That creates a first down and more opportunities. It gives you 3 more plays to see Zach Wilson and see what he can do with the ball. And when you get drop plays from Ty Johnson, from Michael Carter, from Corey Davis, guys you expect to catch the ball, it's not good. And then now LaFleur's probably like, okay, let's look somewhere else. We'll look at Keelan Cole. We'll look at Elijah Moore. We'll go all these different routes. You got to throw it to who's going to be catching the ball. Croft winds up going out with an injury. Griffin winds up playing a little bit more. I don't know. I want to see Mims out there because I feel like at least Mims has a skill set that isn't replicable by any of our other receivers, and he's at least sure-handed, at least from what I've seen. I don't know. It's super frustrating being a fan right now.
I know. I mean, it really is just frustrating. Like, you want to be proud to wear like the green and white, but like, I mean, everyone makes fun of you just for being a Jets fan or whatever, and it's just like, what do you do from there? But I mean, I don't know. With the whole Mims situation, I'm actually less concerned about Mims not being on the field right now. Like, look, if he doesn't know the playbook, which is what we're being told, that's like a concern. But I understand why people are like, okay, like we just got destroyed. Let's at least put him on the field and see what he can do.
Sure.
I'm actually like a little bit concerned with how Zach Wilson just relies on Corey Davis almost a little bit too much.
Yes.
And he gives up reading, like going through his progression just to force Corey the ball. And like, I almost feel like it's a possibility that if we took out Corey, even for a little bit more than he's usually in for, that we'd see Zach make better decisions. I just think that he like thinks too highly of him. And look, he's a good player. He's a really good player, but obviously he had some drops that were bad, some bad drops. And I don't know, like, it's ridiculous. You can't like bench your best receiver, but I think we need to just shift the game plan a little bit away from Corey Davis because like these last 2 weeks, the defense is just know that he's the only guy Zach's throwing to, and they're taking advantage of that.
You're spot on. I mean, you watch what the Patriots did. They blanketed Corey Davis. There wasn't going to be any plays going his direction. And yesterday they tried to do the same thing because there's some sort of security blanket feeling with Wilson and Davis. So that's when you have the opportunity to pass the ball to an Elijah Moore, to a Denzel Mims, or a running back out of the backfield. And it doesn't feel like they're doing that. It feels like he's still trying to force the ball to Davis. And it would be interesting to see if they pulled Davis out and maybe they plug Mims in because apparently he knows the same style of receiver that Davis plays. So basically when Davis comes out, Mims could pop into that. Maybe it's worth having a little bit of, I don't want to say secrecy, but having a little bit more of here, I'm hiding my cards because Davis isn't in almost. Not that Davis is a bad receiver, but it just feels like the defense can key in on him and like 60% of the time they're right. Not good.
Yeah.
Brother, I'm going to get some more calls. Thank you so much for calling in. You've been ejected from the cockpit. I love it. Richard Delgado drops in with the super chat. Richard says, who would have thought that the best the Jets looked in 10 years was when Ryan Fitzpatrick was leading the Jets to a 10-6 record and still missed the playoffs? Dude, if you had told me Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to be one of the Jets' best quarterbacks of all time in a given season, I'd be jumping off the side of my house. Like that drives me bonkers. Fitz has, was it 30 touchdowns? I think he has the touchdown record for the Jets. I know Namath still has the yardage record, which is like 4,000, just over 4,000 yards. Like the fact that we have not broken that passing record and Namath did it in a 14-game season. Like I think if Wilson plays every game this year, he's going to break that record purely by having 3 extra games. But yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. Ryan Fitzpatrick. That was a fun season to watch because I liked watching Chris Ivory. I liked watching Fitz. I liked watching Brandon Marshall, Decker. Like there were some fun pieces on that team, but you knew it wasn't sustainable. And especially since Fitz played well and there was no way the Jets were really getting up to get a quarterback after that year, you were kind of stuck in this weird like, oh, we got to pay Fitz because there's nothing to do, but it's the bad thing to do, but the team wants him. That was a frustrating season. It really was. I don't know. I don't know the right answer. I just want to see some competent football. Richard, thank you so much for the super chat. What else you guys talking about there? Ooh, that's a good one. Ray says, I would ask Chad Pennington if he wants to be a quarterback's coach position. We definitely need help. Like, hey, Chad, you want to be the almost backup quarterback, but not really, because we're not asking you to play. We're just asking you to like talk to our quarterback. Who knows? All right, we got time for maybe, let's see if we get 2 more callers in. Let's see if I get 2 more callers in. I want to hear some of your thoughts, see what you guys are venting about. What are you upset about? I think there's a lot going on in Jetland, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Who we got on the line?
Call from
Scott.
Scott, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, what's going on, man? My first time calling, man. Loving the show, man. Really appreciate.
Oh, dude.
Really appreciate
Thank
what
you so
you're
much
doing,
for
man.
tuning in and hanging out.
But I'm gonna talk about, is it the Mims situation, right? Is it
sure?
Because the other caller was saying that he's targeting Corey Davis. Is it because Corey Davis is a bigger receiver? Is that something? I didn't follow Zach Wilson and BYU. Did he have a lot of bigger, taller wide receivers at BYU? Because Mims would be perfect, you know what I'm saying, with his size and his speed, and just his size alone to beat one-on-one matchups. I just wanted to know, is that one of the reasons why? Like, because I like Bear. Okay, I'm sorry.
So for me, I think Corey Davis, he was available throughout training camp. He was available throughout the preseason. He was able to build a rapport with him. I think that's the biggest thing, because Mims had food poisoning, so he missed a lot of training camp, or maybe not training camp, but he missed a lot of like the early season practices, and then he didn't get a lot of reps because he was behind the 8 ball because all these other receivers came in. And honestly, if I'm Mims, I understand why Mims is frustrated, because you think you're drafted highly in the 2nd round and you're like, okay, I'm going to be the guy next year. I missed training. We didn't have a training camp last year, or we had very minimal training camp. I was hurt. I missed the first 7 games of the season, whatever it was. And then you go into this year, you're like, okay, I'm going to be the guy. Like they're going to scheme plays for me. We're going to figure this out. And then all of a sudden you get a new coaching staff in, and they bring in Corey Davis, they bring in Keelan Cole, they bring in Elijah Moore. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, hold on. Like, I'm not good enough. And they're bringing in 3 other wide receivers. Like, I can see where he's a little salty. And getting sick at your own facility, like that sucks.
But even if that's the case, I mean, if you got the coach saying he's having good practices and he's trying out there, you got to give him a look. Elijah Moore's out. He should play. If Crowder doesn't play, he should play this week. I just feel like he should play this week. I don't think that, having him on the practice squad or not even playing isn't right. You know what I'm saying? He's 6'2", 4'3" speed. You need somebody like that on the field for Zach Wilson, just to have size out there. You know what I'm saying? Because the tight ends ain't giving you nothing. And another thing I wanted to ask you, I heard somebody mention it. You think Mike LaFleur, with him calling plays, and I know every team likes to take advantage of any opportunity, do you think the guys on the sideline or on the other team sideline is reading his lips when he's calling plays? I know that's kind of stupid, you know what I'm saying? But you know how the league is. The league always tries.
Look, it's not stupid, because clearly there's been opportunities for like the Patriots to film things from the opposite sideline. And I think it would be foolish not to think that there are teams. I would think there are teams that specialize in trying to see what the other team's doing, like trying to read lips. And I don't know if that's so much what it is, or if it's just an inexperienced rookie offensive coordinator. That feels to me more about where it is. Like, I think he's just kind of learning how to call an offense, maybe getting into a rhythm. I would love to know how much Kyle Shanahan really relied on Mike LaFleur in terms of like play building. Like, was it all Shanahan? And then he's kind of like, hey, look, here's my little black book. I'm holding on to it. You can't see it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we almost got fool's gold with Mike LaFleur, and I don't want that to be the case, because his brother seems to be doing well with the Packers. And I would like to think that at least share some secrets, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, they all rookies. You know what I'm saying? It's still week 3. Hopefully with this in the Patriot game and the last Bronco loss, hopefully guys will start getting together and getting mad. I didn't like Van Roten's comments yesterday too, putting it on the quarterback holding on to the ball when he hasn't really been playing well either. But like I said, at the end of the day, they're a young team. Hopefully they get it together. I'm not going to give up. Look, I've been through the butt fumble. I'm 31 years old. I've been a Jet fan since '98. The first game I ever watched was 𝐗-𝐅𝐟𝐼𝐥𝐢𝐵 running 99 yards against us overtime for a touchdown. So I remember that game vividly. And I just knew it was always going to be heartache as a Jet fan. But, at the end of the day, it can only go up, hopefully, So that's all.
Dude, I hope so. I feel like this is rock bottom. Like how much further south can you go? You got to be able to start going let's start taking off. Let's not leave the pin in the yoke while you're driving down the runway. I want to see some action here.
Exactly. But I appreciate you, man. Thanks for letting me on, man. I'll let you get to somebody else, man. Have a good night, man. I'm going to continue watching.
Of course, brother. Thank you so much for calling in. It really does mean a lot. All right, we're going to get one more caller, and then we'll pack it in for the night. Guys, we got 117 likes. Just 8 more likes, and I'll pick another qualifier for tomorrow's stream at the end of the stream to win a shirt. And then if you leave a comment after the stream, you'll be qualified as well.
Call from
Antoine.
Antoine, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm trying to hang in there. I'm trying to stay a little bit positive after a really depressing Monday morning, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I am too, man. We are.
So what's on your mind? How are you feeling about our Jets? You think we can turn this around?
I think we can. It's going to take time, but I think my biggest problem is with the Denzel Mims situation. Now, if he can't play, if he's not able to play every position, X, Y, Z, or whatever, why not move Corey Davis and maybe Elijah Moore around and find something there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I feel like in an ideal situation in my mind, I'm thinking Corey Davis, Mims, and then Elijah Moore in the slot. And if Elijah Moore's not playing in the slot and he's playing outside and now he's got the concussion, now maybe you have an opportunity to put Mims out there and you have Davis, Mims, and Berrios, and then maybe Mims can show you something, against the Titans defense.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I really think that is getting personal, and I won't be surprised if he just asks for a trade.
That's what I'm most afraid of. I feel like once the player asks for a trade, then it's like, okay, sorry, we're done with you. And that's not where I want Mims to be, because when we drafted him, I was so excited, genuinely excited about being able to get him, because I thought he was a first-round talent. And to see I don't want to call him an offensive guru, but what should be a successful offense in the Shanahan system come in and just not have any clue how to use this guy is really frustrating. And I'm hoping, I don't want to hope that Elijah Moore's out, but I hope that it allows Mims to get on the field and then maybe show what he's worth.
Yeah, because it just feels like this is a revolving thing where all our draft picks last however many years.
Dude, we've been burning second-round draft picks since David Harris, basically. Marcus May was probably our most successful second-round pick in a very long time.
Very long time.
Dude, I don't know. So what do you think what do you think the answer is? Do you think what happens to the Jets this weekend?
I think our defense is been playing pretty good. I just think the offense is not showing enough love. I think if we could get the offense going, this would be a real competitive team. I just think that we need to focus on getting the offense together.
Dude, I hope that's where we wind up going. Brother, I've hit the end of my stream. I really appreciate you calling in. I hope you tune in tomorrow to watch me, Matt, and Green Bean and kind of rant a little bit. Tomorrow. We got to get that therapy session.
Thank you.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much. All right, boys and girls, we have reached the end of this stream. Nightbot did pick another winner because we eclipsed that 125 threshold. So we have Daniel Arena, Nick Chaplin, Steve O'Booze, Jets Blues, and Carmelo Elboris as our 5 qualifiers heading into tomorrow's Tuesday night stream on Talking Jets. So those 5 will be qualified, and then anyone who comments after the stream will also be qualified. And then we'll wind up rolling it into tomorrow's stream, and we'll kind of figure it out from there. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out and doing your thing. I'm really hoping we start to see a little bit more competitive football from our Jets and from the coaching staff. Let's get all the mental mistakes out of there. Let's get the penalties out of there. I just want to be happy watching my team. I'm at the point where, like, I don't mind watching a loss or watching a heartbreaking loss at the end, like a last-second field goal. It's like, oh, it hurts, like it's painful. I just want to see competent football, and I haven't seen that in quite some time. So, boys, girls, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you tomorrow. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, myself, O'Leary, and Green Bean. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And I will talk to you tomorrow. J-E-T-S